Good morning. Special day. This is your boy KP with 2Peas and a Bong. I'm sitting here with 10-year professional, 4-year coach with the University of St. Thomas Tommy's Division One program in St. Paul, Minnesota, in the Summit League. My guy, Cameron Rundles. So tell the people.
Where did you meet me? Where we meet at? How we meet?
Man, that's actually a good question. Now, I know I obviously it was in Minnesota back in the day. Um, I knew we had a mutual friend. I think it actually was at the gym. At the
It was
gym.
it was at the gym. I'm gonna tell you,
Okay,
it
that's
was a
right
third it
then.
was a
Yeah,
Thursday
because
night
I'm trying to.
at the gym on Thursday nights.
That's right.
You had finished playing college basketball. You were getting ready to go overseas.
Okay, now I'm back. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's right. So my boy, just my childhood friend.
Uh-huh.
Ain't no hooper or nothing. Just say, hey, we be hooping because I'm back in town now. I don't know where they hooping, I'm hanging out with my buddy when he say a bunch of us go to the church
Yeah.
Thursday night, like you say. I said, oh yeah, I'm pulling up. Of course, I pull up, and it's a good vibe in the gym. That's my type of gym where you just drop off your stuff, change your bag, and it's a bunch of stuff. It's close quarters, people talking mess. That's my type
hmm
of vibe. Obviously, I'm probably one of the better players there, and I
You're
see
the you're the best player in there.
and
You
and I see and I see you, and I
hmm
say, dang, this dude can hoop. I called you Magic because you would post me up, man. You would dribble post me all the time, and you could pass, and you knew how to play, and you got good feel for the game, and I knew that right away. And then once we started talking, I was like, "Oh, you really Magic?" Because I said this dude, mind working in a different type of way, and your ability to connect with people, I seen it right away. Every time we linked up, it was beautiful, and we always talked
absolutely.
hoops and battled against each other. Then it got competitive because your competitive juices come out.
You told everybody how we met. Now, walk us through who Cameron Rundles is. Like, where did his journey start?
I come from a family of 10 kids,
hmm
10 kids in my family, and I was number 10. I was the baby, and
Okay.
so we was always outside, my brothers and my friends, and all we did as a little kid was I played sports. We played football in the backyard. We played baseball and basketball and hit golf balls, and that's the only thing we did to stay out of trouble. And so at an early age, I knew I was going to be an athlete. Now, football was my thing. I thought I was going to go in college and play football.
Mm.
I grew up in North Minneapolis,
hmm
not the best neighborhood. And growing up, you don't look at it as a bad neighborhood. I loved my neighborhood, and I felt safe in my neighborhood, and that was that. And so when I was 14 years old, all my brothers and sisters went to Norton Henry, which was the local high school around me. And
hmm
when I was growing up in middle school, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth grade, Patrick Henry was the powerhouse. And then when I
hmm
was in seventh and eighth grade, I actually played on the fall league JV. My
Interesting,
brother,
because you can do that in Minnesota. You can play high school basketball as a middle schooler. You can't do that on the West Coast. It's only in certain states. So
that's right. That's why sometimes some of them records might seem a little different. You might see
absolutely,
somebody that
absolutely.
scored 4,000 points and think, hmm. And then my life changed. I went from eighth grade to ninth grade, entered high school. My mom told me, "You're not going to Henry and you're not going to Norris because I want you to get a better education than what my other kids are getting at these schools." So she sent me to De La Salle High School,
Mm-hmm.
which was a private Catholic school downtown Minneapolis. There was no more like being funny in the class clown in school to kind of fit in. Things were different, and I loved it. I loved it. But I knew in my head this was the best thing for me. And not only that, I had a big time coach,
Mm-hmm.
Dave Thorson, who's now the assistant at the University of Minnesota under
Mm-hmm.
Ben Johnson, who
Okay.
went to De La Salle. Ben Johnson's the head coach at the University of Minnesota, is a De La Salle alum,
Okay.
and the assistant is Dave Thorson, who coached us both. He
Mm.
coached both. He was there maybe considered one of the best high school coaches ever to come through there throughout his day. Has been a college coach for the past. He was at Drake, then Colorado State, and now has been at the University of Minnesota for the last 3-4 years. So
Tell me about your basketball success at De La Salle. Tell the people about it.
So at De La Salle, I was one of the few people to start as a freshman on that. When I got there, the only other freshman to ever start at De La Salle was Ben Johnson, who
Oh, wow.
ironically is
The head
now the
coach.
head coach at the University of Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
I was a freshman starting. I was playing Tyus Jones, who's in the NBA, with his brother Trey Jones. You know that. I was playing with their older brother, J.D. Jones. I was a freshman. J.D. Jones is his name, was a junior. Best shooter I had ever been around at that moment. Best shooter I had ever been around. We had a game, he had 11 threes, and then we screening for people. And Thorson would say, I'll say a quick line that he used to say, if you don't want to screen for J.D. Jones shoots the ball so well. If you don't want to screen for him, including you, Cameron Rundles, including you, then you need to transfer.
Wow.
And a couple people transferred. We end up losing in the final to a team called Litchfield Dragons, who had John Carlson on that team, who was a big tight end for Notre Dame, who played in the NFL for their Cardinals and the Minnesota Vikings for a long time. He was 12 for 12 in that game. Right, left, he had it all. They were good. Didn't get back there till my senior year, till my senior year, and we won it all. It was a crazy run. But yeah, that prepared me to go to college. And
I got a question for you. Who's helping you through this recruitment process as you're going through it?
Great question, because that's what this is all about.
Absolutely.
My high school coach, Dave Thorson. He did everything.
So Dave, so your family, does your family know anything?
At that point, my mom trusted Dave Thorson, and she gave him the reign. My mom said like this, I got a lot of kids, and my son's at De La Salle, and I see the direction that this person has for my son, and I see what he's surrounded by, and I have something to compare it to, because my other kids went to North and Henry. In terms of the recruiting process and how that's going, it is totally different. So that experience, and if you're going off that, it's kind of, is it helping you? For example, back in the day, you see a project. He's a sophomore, junior in high school. Oh, we could take him, we could redshirt him. In 2-3 years, he'll be really good for us.
Absolutely.
Don't work like that. Don't work like that. They say, why would we waste a scholarship on that kid? Send that kid a level below us, depending on who we are. Who are we? Are we a Division I mid-major? Are we a Division III NAIA? Are we
a high major?
We like that kid. We think he'll be special for us when he's a junior. Hey, we can tell him handedly, hey, go do it. Go do it at St. Thomas, which is a Division I mid-major. Go be the player of the year. Go be first team all league as a sophomore, as a junior. Then we'll take you on the backside.
Why are you comfortable with that as a coach?
This is the difference. This is and again, everybody doesn't operate like that.
I understand that, because that means that essentially has turned you into a developmental program.
Yes.
On the college level.
Yes.
So how do you but how do you feel about that?
Nobody feels good about that.
Okay.
When you cut it like that, nobody feels good, because it's a lot of, because it goes back to, why are we all in this business? To impact kids' lives too.
Absolutely.
It ain't just basketball. We could all train basketball without coming to this same domain. It's about impacting these kids' life. But now it's like, if the way the rules are set up and the way it's all set up, you don't get a kid for that extended amount of time. A kid could be in your program today, he's out tomorrow. Before you knew that kid was probably, not for sure, it wasn't 100%, but God were going to be in your program for an extended amount of time, and it made sense. And you could go see a kid and say, man, I've been watching you since you was 14 years old.
Yeah.
Now you in my program at 18. And now
Yeah.
I got you till you're 22. Like, I've had a relationship with you for 8 years, and your parents and everything. That is not the case anymore. And that's not the coach's decision.
Yeah.
When the
So
coach, when the coaches, the adults want, I mean, I think the people that coach want that. They want that longevity back so they can impact kids. And even when you have losses on your record, it's not that you still come home and you feel good that you've impacted all these players' lives. And that's becoming harder and harder to do when you only get a short window with these kids.
so Cam, so let me ask you, have you had players in your 4 years there coaching? Have you had players hit the transfer portal and leave after 1 year?
No, we've been
Okay.
fortunate enough to not have that. No
Okay.
one
Okay.
and done for us. Now, what we have had
Mm-hmm.
was graduate transfers that we've took,
Yeah.
meaning we've only had that kid for 1 year.
Gotcha. And what do you
Nobody's left our program after 1 year. Nobody.
and so with the transfer portal and everything happening, how much pressure does it put on you as a coach to have to be
Big,
honest with the players and
big.
play the players
That's great.
early?
Listen, I love the question because when everything happened with the portal,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a player's coach. I want to be somebody that when I played, I would want that person to be. Now, I can't strike gold on everybody because everybody's different, but that was my
Absolutely.
thought.
Absolutely.
So, with everything happening, all I can do is look for it from my way, but also the player's perspective too.
Mm-hmm.
And as a player, you love the portal because of that reason. Because
Yes.
now you can't come into my house when I'm 15, 16 years old, sit on my couch with my mother. You
Mm-hmm.
can't tell me a bunch of stuff and you can't lie to me. And I mean, you can, but I can do something about it now.
It gives the players power.
You tell me, hey, now we don't operate like that as a staff. We don't make any promises, but I understand people do because I was a player.
Yeah.
You're gonna come to our school and you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when that doesn't happen, back in the day, if you transfer, you got to sit out, and everybody looks at you funny, like, oh, we don't really want to touch him because he's leaving, blah blah
And,
blah.
and for those
That was the
and I want to say
yeah
this, for those that are listening, Cameron Rundles played for Montana first, and he transferred to
yeah
Wofford.
freshman of the year. I was freshman of the year. I
Freshman
was
of the
playing it was a good situation,
and transferred to Wofford prior to the
and
transfer
had to sit
portal.
out a year
Exactly. And that's what I wanted to tell
prior to
people.
the
So
transfer
you've
portal.
actually lived it. And I just wanted to throw that out there so that the listeners will know and understand that you're speaking because you see
Right.
both sides. You're very unique in that sense.
Both sides. And at
Mm,
Montana,
mm,
when I was told things that was going to happen as a sophomore after being freshman of the year, that didn't happen.
mm, mm. Man,
So I still did that, but nowadays it's no brainer. It's a no brainer. Oh, you told me that and you did that. It's like any relationship.
yeah.
You can't tell me this and then don't do that. And then I got to say, okay. So now if you do that, then you're going to be a program that has 8 to 9 players in the transfer portal every year.
Mm,
Why? Because you've told them things that you can't do. You've made promises that you can't keep. And in any relationship, many people leave that situation. That has been going on forever, but the transfer portal put the power with the players.
absolutely.
Now, that's the player side.
Mm,
And the coach's side is what we touched on briefly in the beginning of now people just jumping ship. And if this ain't good, the grass is greener there. Next thing you know, I'm 23 years old and I done been to 5 schools. How's
Yeah.
it going to work when you get in the real world and you want to hold a marriage together? When you want to hold a job together, you just going to say, I'm out of here because you ain't giving me what you want, what I want. You don't have a John Thompson. You don't have that guy that impacted you for four. You don't have. It don't got to be John Thompson, but you don't have that coach that was with you. It doesn't. Even John Thompson can't impact you like if he can't have you for an extended amount of time. You know what I'm saying?
Listeners, this is Coach Cameron Rundles right now with St. Thomas men's basketball team. I just want y'all to know I want to keep throwing your name out there so they remember who you are as you're listening and
Yeah.
dropping this knowledge. I do want to ask something else though. So when you're recruiting players, right?
As
What are some of
yeah,
the deal breakers that a player could do or a parent could do to get them taken off the recruitment list?
that's a great question. And look, and again, I'm
Uh-huh.
just me. I'm just this program is not. It is my opinion. This is
Absolutely. You
and
don't speak for
every
every coach.
I don't speak for every coach or every program.
Absolutely.
Parents don't realize the bad that they do,
Mm.
and they don't realize when it comes to recruiting. This isn't being a dad. This ain't being a mom. This ain't being a coach. This ain't being nothing. This is strictly talking as a college coach, and this is recruiting.
Yeah.
Pros and cons.
Mm.
There's a thing. There's a pros and it's simply, let's put it that way. Pros and cons.
Okay.
Pros, cons.
Okay.
There's parents that when we're recruiting Johnny Appleseed, we're recruiting Johnny Appleseed. His parent gonna go under one. It's right or left.
Mm.
It's gonna be parent in the pro. It's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be parent in the con. It
Mm.
ain't gonna be both.
Okay.
Now, what are those things?
Absolutely. Come
When
on.
I'm coming to, what are those things? When I'm coming to the game to watch Johnny Appleseed,
Mm-hmm.
and now I know who his parents are
Mm-hmm.
before I talk to him,
Mm-hmm.
or because there's whispers,
Mm-hmm.
and if you recruit a kid, you try to get information, and when
Absolutely.
the first thing somebody says is, "Oh, you recruiting Johnny Appleseed? Boy, can he shoot it? But watch out for his dad." So how you been, buddy?
So that's a real thing.
Hmm.
That's a real
Oh,
thing.
oh yeah. And
And we're
now,
because this is a
now,
brotherhood. The coaches is a
this is a
brotherhood.
brotherhood. Now
Yeah.
you got to try to read in between the lines. You got to do your own homework. You got to stick
Absolutely.
with somebody throwing off did somebody throw one in the air for me to go for because I really want Johnny Appleseed. You see? So that's the chess match too. But for the most part, I'm gonna figure it out anyway. So if you threw one in there and I figure out Johnny Appleseed, daddy is A1 and he's in the pro, I
Mhm.
know where to log you too. So you got to be careful in this business how you move. You see what I'm saying?
Hey man,
Okay.
I might have been, you know what? I might have been Johnny Appleseed's dad. So I might have been thrown on
You
the
could have
con
been
side.
Johnny Appleseed's dad. You
Yeah.
were Johnny. No, 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 no. You were Johnny Appleseed's dad because your son was good. If your son's good and he's at our level, you are. You were you in the pros or
Oh, I
cons?
was on the
I'm not
con
going to
side.
dispose of that.
I know I
No,
was on
you
the
live
con
on.
side.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, it's one of them things where it's like you start seeing it where you're like, that parent's going to be very much involved,
Yeah.
meaning they think high, everybody thinks highly of their kid. But if you're
Mm-hmm.
always the one talking, you're always the one shouting, you're telling your kid, dribble, pass, shoot during the game. You're talking to him, you're talking to the coach. There's a lot of these,
Mm.
you say, a lot of things don't change. So when we get him and he's a freshman and he's only 18 years old and he's playing with other 22-year-olds and he's not playing as much as he wants,
Mm-hmm.
that his parents want, we're going to have to deal with that. Now, it's not always a deal breaker, but trust me, it'll go into the con category
Mm.
when we come to the games and we figure out, oh, that's that guy's daddy and he ain't even told me. That's that boy's mama and he ain't even told me. I can just see.
Mm.
That's a red flag.
Dang.
That can only hurt your kid.
Mm.
Now, there's a thing that's this. Coach, this is a real thing. Are you better than your problems? So problems could be grades. They could be your parents. They
Mm.
could be, are you now, hey, we're all in this business you want to win too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of factors that go in. I'm just saying, if you think that getting up at a when you go out of town, parents and there's college coaches down there evaluating your son,
Mm-hmm.
not your son's parent,
Yeah.
not you.
Yeah.
When they're coming there spending a lot of money and everything and their jobs on the line, their
Yeah.
livelihoods on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we get Johnny Appleseed, mom's on the recruiting visit, but we not gonna see mom and dad until the game, and that's in the stands.
Yeah.
And then, so we need to evaluate Johnny Appleseed, not Johnny Appleseed's parent, and not that parent being in their ear or the coach's ear by that matter. So you got to be smart and understand that we are evaluators. We come there to evaluate. You guys are come there and be emotional fans who are
Mm-hmm.
parents because I'm a parent. And
Yeah.
and when I'm in that position, I'm an emotional dad and all that. I try to be calm. But when I have my other hat on my career, I'm evaluating Johnny Appleseed, and you can be a pro or you can be a con, and you got to decide that.
Oh, wow. Wow. So
Yeah.
parents can make or break a
Oh,
situation
oh
before.
yeah. Because there's a lot of kids, and if your kid's borderline, there's a lot of kids on the borderline. And if you say, man, we ain't gonna deal with this because dad and I done heard too many stories up, boom, X. What's next?
Ah,
It
man.
happens like that sometimes. It's
Man,
a dog
I
world.
and I just want children to understand that. Like, here's another question. So you have two children that are at the same point and they look like they may be similar players. How do you decide which one to take?
Character. Character, because
Mm,
character bleeds into your culture. And when you run a program that you show up to every day you putting in, you investing and you putting into this culture, boom, boom. You're trying to win and you're trying to invite others into this culture. Character
absolutely.
is a big, 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 big deal. People that want to be here. That's a big deal. Do you want to be here? Recruitment is a two-way street, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not just here calling you like I'm this second fiddle girlfriend. Now I'm
So,
gonna initiate probably because that's how it goes. But
yeah,
once we're in it, this is a relationship, just like anything.
absolutely. Okay, so there's a misconception out there that a
Mhm.
lot of parents believe that in high school a player has to average 20, 25, 30 to start
No,
getting these offers.
I
How
never
true is
did.
that?
I
Please,
never did.
please weigh in on that.
I never did. The other players that we've recruited, some of them did, some of them didn't. Some of them live in small town, whatever, and they can average 40. Some of them, that's the evaluation period. That's when
Yeah,
that shows if you can't punish a kid because he lives in Timbuktu and he averages 50, but you got to see what's really real.
yeah,
You can't also punish a kid because he goes to a school where he's playing with three other Division I players, and it's a tough schedule, and it ain't about scoring, and he's playing for a coach who's getting them prepared for the next level. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? I played
yeah.
for Dave Thorson. We would win games 54-34. We'd win games 49-38.
Mm,
How you gonna average 20?
yeah,
You ain't. But if you're a good evaluator and you come to that practice and you're around that coach and you say, man, if I get that kid who played for that coach who's around that type of an environment, he gonna come into our culture and jump right in, and it ain't gonna be all about scoring because we all know in college basketball that ain't it. And if you
yeah.
come with that mindset, especially as a young kid, your butt gonna be on that bench.
Okay, I got another. So to all the young players out
Mhm.
there that want to go to college and want to play right away, what do you suggest they do? Give us three things that they can do to play right away as a freshman.
First thing is defense, and that's like general, and people
Mm,
say that all the time.
yeah,
But that's important because you got to get it's a mind shift. It ain't about
absolutely.
playing defense. It's about getting your mind to
Hmm.
focus that's how you earn playing time. That's
Mm.
how you earn a coach's trust. That's how you earn players' trust. That's how you win games.
Yeah.
So that's first.
Mm-hmm.
It's defense.
Mm-hmm.
Second, how coachable are you?
Mm.
How coachable are you? What does that mean? That means when we recruit kids, I can't punish you because you live in Timbuktu and you about to get 50 tonight, and we all know this team's bad and you're really good. If I talk to you on the phone and I say, hey, I'm going to be at this game, I want to see these things from you. Doesn't matter what I say. And it doesn't, I could just be throwing anything out there. But I want to see if that guy can take the information that I'm going to tell him and apply it to the court, or is he just going to say, okay, coach, I got you, and go out and play the exact same way he just did?
Mm. What's the third thing?
Defense, coachability, and the third thing, how good of a teammate is he? How good of a teammate is he?
Mm.
When I watch him interact with his teammates, does he get joy when he scores only, or does he get joy when his other team scores? Does he get joy only on offense, or does he get joy when he gets a defensive stop? Does he, when he's on the bench, is he cheering for his teammates, or is he worried about himself?
I want to thank you, man, for taking the time, man, to give me an interview. I really appreciate
No problem, man. Anything I can do for Kevo, Magic,
it.
aka Magic John.
Ah.
And this is your boy KP with 2peas interviewing Cameron Rundles. Coach Cameron Rundles. Peace.